Hey, welcome back, YouTube model building community. Chris Chapman here, coming at you with a little bit of discouraging news. Going to continue with this tutorial on wrestling techniques, but yesterday I went and I recorded everything that I had done up to this point. Had a whole video done. I uploaded it, got it onto YouTube. Went and deleted it off my computer because it slows it way down with that much memory being used up. And for some reason, somehow, some way, stupid YouTube decided to be unable to process my video. So I went through a whole segment. Oh, hold on a sec. I went to a whole segment showing what I was doing, all my airbrushing and stuff. And yes, it's the first one that I got started on for the body. And here it is. This is brown iron oxide. I sprayed the inside and the outside. This will be basically a main color. This is the Anita's acrylic, this is actually apple barrel acrylic, and I got some more of which is following. I recorded this yesterday, and so I'm not going to show you, but is all I did in the previous video is I airbrushed this stuff, airbrushed all the parts that are in this video, put it all together, and I sealed it. Also, I'm so frustrated right now, I can't even think straight. I sealed it with the LA's Totally Awesome mop and shine, of which you guys have known I've had issues with it not shining, and this will proof. This is just flat. There's no shine. Again, don't know what their situation is. They're claiming they didn't change it, but it's not shiny like it was. So, bad batch, I don't know, but I'm hearing it from a lot of people. But it works great for this kind of application because I just sealed this in and I can do whatever I want, not have to worry about messing up the acrylic underneath it. So, it's still a plus. So, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the beginning of what I recorded yesterday. And we will start there, and I will go ahead and complete the video and get that uploaded today. Again, thanks for missing and stuff, just watching my videos, appreciate it, and sorry YouTube has to be so stupid, like Comcast. YouTubers, Chris Chapman, Rusty Nuts Model Shop. We're back with another segment of the rusting tutorials. I am going to start a process of rusting and stuff on our fenders and chassis and things. Let me get this light off, I apologize. Boy, that's dark. It's either going to be too light or too dark. But we're going to be using a method with rubber cement. And so we're going to go ahead and start applying paint and stuff here. Let me move this, try to, maybe get a little bit more light up in here. There, that's better. Now I did go ahead and I sprayed a couple coats of LA's Totally Awesome Mop and Shine, of which doesn't have the shine. But I coated all of the parts that I painted in my last segment with a coat of that just to help kind of protect and stuff the acrylic paints underneath it. It comes out dead flat. I mean, it just, I guess my Mop and Shine is now my new flat because it works great, at least with this bottle. Frustrating, but anyway, it still has its uses. So I've gone ahead and sealed everything off. Today we're going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of sponging here and there, and some colors. I'm going to start off with a little bit of orange. Been goofing off with this quite a bit lately, just messing around. And I'm almost out of orange. Look at the way that this rusting stuff's coming out. Really, really good. I'm loving it. So, maybe I wouldn't be running out if I didn't use so freaking much. What the heck? Didn't realize I had dabbed that much out there. Let me grab my mixing brush. And I'm using orange and rust red, both acrylics, and it comes out in a nice rusty looking color. And unfortunately I'm going to have to add a little bit more orange. I kind of want this to be a brighter rust. And then on one side of it, oh, I don't have it up here. I thought I had it all. There it is. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Okay, you can see where I have right here just the red, the rust red and orange, and then the rust red with yellow is just that upper part. I'm going to take, I want where I put my texture in and out on these things with the putty, I want that to kind of stick out. And in order for me to do this, I am going to have to turn this light on so that I can see all of the areas that need to be hit. But with this, I want to use a micro brush. I'm going to turn around and just kind of dab it. And I didn't mix it up really good so I can have different variety of colors in it. Boy, that's even hard to see. Yeah, you can see how I went right along that seam and added some color to it. Going to do the same thing with across the top here. Boy, this lighting is really sucky. I'm going to go with a different color over on the other side here. I'm trying to get this where you guys can see me doing it. You can see how I just kind of dab it along there. And then I take my, where did I put them? Well, you get everything out, and then you cover it all up with everything else, and then everything falls on the floor. What a pain in the butt. While it's still wet, I take it, you guys have seen my dry brush streaking. I kind of streak it down along the inner fender there. Kind of see how that's coming out there. There's the other side. Now we will move on down to, see, I can't even see what I'm doing because I don't have the right light. I'm gonna pull you guys off over here a little bit. I'm gonna kind of dab some paint up and around where I did my rust holes. I've got a little bit right up in this area, a little crease. Down along here, just want a little bit. Some down here. That corner might have a little bit. Now I want to dab some right up in here. So you can kind of see how I've got the fender going there. Get some brighter oranges. I want to put down inside my little bumps a little bit of orange down in there, because that would be a pocket where water would have accumulated and really hung out. So you can see how I've got it there. You can see how it's sent down inside the little hole that I have there, the dent. Then we'll come over here to this side. Let me grab some more paint. And just up around where I have the putty, you can see where it's at. I'm just going to dab this on and allow it to just fill in. So that's what I've got now. Now is what I want to do is just go with the rusty color. A little bit of red. A little bit of orange. I like to mix my paint as I go also. I turn around and in the past have done a little bit where I got it mixed up and I get focused on something, and next thing you know I come back and it's dry. Now I'm going to take my sponge right here, dab it. Again, you guys have seen this. I'm going to just kind of dab it a couple of places up along the top here. And I'm adding some more texture to it. More of a lighter rust. I'm going to dab it. I got my camera repositioned and I'm probably not getting all of this very well. Okay, now you can see the different colors, tones, and textures. I'm going to take a little bit of this rusty color, and I'm going to kind of dab it down. I want a lot down the side here. So now you can see how I've added it along the floorboards or the running boards. I think that ought to work. Now up underneath here, you don't get a whole lot of rust action up in there, so we'll mess with that in a later time. For now, I do want to take my flat black mix and with this one I want to use my dry brushing technique. You load up paint in your paintbrush, then you wipe the majority of it off onto a paper towel. You guys have seen this. And I'm going to kind of come in here and kind of spread it down around, especially around my dents. And see how I've got some black in there, up along the edges. And I want it to be a light black. I don't want a whole lot of color coming off of it. Kind of break up the orange and the rusty colors a little bit. And that's about it. And then I want my rails, I got these little grooves, I want to put some black along that. And this is actually going to be painted in a black, but it'll be a different color paint. I'm going to make a dirty, grimy look. So that's what our running boards look like, that's what our front fenders look like. And I'm going to set that off to the side. And I am going to complete the process on my fenders. So what I'm going to do is I'll pause this, I'll go ahead and get the fenders done, and then come back, show you what we're doing, and then hit the next phase. Okay, I've gone ahead and sponged on some black down on the bottom, where I want it to look dirty. And you can see I've gotten this side. You can take my my brush. I'm going to just kind of cover a little bit of this up. I want the running boards to be kind of dirty looking, and we will add more onto it later. Get the sides here. That would all be black up in there. Now what I got to do is I got to do a little bit of taping off. But before I do, I want to grab a little bit of this, dab it down in the bottom. Where did I put that? Right here. Where am I? Right here. There. Boy, this being up here like this camera position's just not working. But I got the fenders done. Here's one. I have this one done. So I'm going to go ahead and tape everything off, and then I'll come back and I will apply the glue. Be back soon. Okay. I used Tamiya tape, the masking tape, between this It's the low tack hobby tape in this. Now you can see I just taped off in a couple of areas. That's where using the airbrush comes in really handy. Now you also have to keep in mind that you can paint this by hand, by brush, by sponging, whatever. I'm going to be using the airbrush on this. And I have everything all set up. And I just loosely put it on. It doesn't matter because I can always come back in with a little black or whatever if I get a little overspray. I'm not going to clear coat along the tape edges for bleed through. On this kind of a build, that's not necessary. So, having that stuff done, I've kind of repositioned my camera. Hopefully it works out a little bit better for all of us. And we're going to go ahead and get started applying some rubber cement. Now I just use, and this in here are just the Testors brushes, and kind of dip it in there, and you just kind of, depending on how much you want, you just smear it on here. I want to have enough to show off all the colors, plus hit that base color down underneath it. I'm going to kind of dab some down along here, put some down around all of my rust holes, and it doesn't have to go on really thick. The thicker the easier it'll come off later, but it really comes off pretty easy, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. So I'll dab some down here, and then the cool thing, if I put like a dab right here, let me get some, kind of hold on to it tight, then as you pick it up you can get stringy things that kind of come off. And when you peel that off, that'll make it look like scratches. I'll go ahead and get all of this down in here done. Now one thing I do want to point out, there's a couple of people that have been having a little bit of trouble with tape residue and stuff. One main benefactor to problems with residue is heat. I do not, with the glue or the tape on, I do not put it in the dehydrator, and I do not use a hair dryer. I basically just have to let it dry naturally. But with these acrylic paints, 15 minutes and it's done and ready to go. You know, and I could touch, play with all this and stuff. You know, it just, you guys have seen it. I don't need to really explain it, but that helps. And then after you paint, within 10 minutes, get the tape off of it. That way it doesn't have time to kind of sit there. So is what I'm going to do. For time purposes, I'm going to go ahead and finish applying my glue, and after I get that done, we'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I have got all of the areas that I want already glued off with the rubber cement. I've got my dark gray. Now keep in mind this is a gloss because it's the only kind of gray that I have, and I'm going to use it before I go buying another one. This is dark gray, and that's what we're going to use for our colors down on the fenders. So I'm going to go ahead, I've already mixed the paint up, it's in here, and we'll go ahead and get this sprayed on. I will be doing some other weathering on it as we go, after I get all of this done. And with this being a main coat color, I do want to try to get it to go on as smooth and as nice as I can. Just so that I can butter it up later. And with the airbrush, you got control, so you don't have to waste a bunch of time trying to get it perfect. Get this up on top. And keep in mind also, I just put this on, came over the rubber cement on, then I came over and mixed up my paint, and here I am spraying. I didn't wait for the glue to dry. That'll come later. Let's let that dry for a minute. Now I purposely left the inside like that because I want to use sponges and things to goober that up. Because the water really doesn't sit inside there. That's just going to be more dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting this, then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I have got all of the areas that I want already glued off with the rubber cement. I've got my dark gray. Now keep in mind this is a gloss because it's the only kind of gray that I have. And I'm going to use it before I go buying another one. This is dark gray, and that's what we're going to use for our colors down on the fenders. So I'm going to go ahead. I've already mixed the paint up, it's in here. And we'll go ahead and get this sprayed on. I will be doing some other weathering on it as we go, after I get all of this done. And with this being a main coat color, I do want to try to get it to go on as smooth and as nice as I can. Just so that I can butter it up later. And with the airbrush, you got control, so you don't have to waste a bunch of time trying to get it perfect. Get this up on top. And keep in mind also, I just put this on, came over the rubber cement on, then I came over and mixed up my paint, and here I am spraying. I didn't wait for the glue to dry. That'll come later. Let's let that dry for a minute. Now I purposely left the inside like that because I want to use sponges and things to goober that up. Because the water really doesn't sit inside there. That's just going to be more dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting this, then I'll come back. Okay, you can see here I've completely covered all of it up. Got my color on it. Everything's good to go. Now is the time that I wait for it to dry. The glue doesn't have to be fully dried or anything. Just want to make sure that the paint and everything's going to hold. So I'm just going to leave that sitting here, and we'll come back and we will reveal what's underneath. That's the thing I like about this glue technique. I have no idea what this is going to look like when I get done. I know the colors that are under it and what I want it to look like, but by the time you take off the paint, you have no idea what kind of texture and pattern you're going to have, what's going to show and what's not going to show. So this is kind of cool. It's like wrapping a birthday present or Christmas present, and just that excitement and not knowing what it's going to be like when it gets done. Is all we can do is cross our fingers and hope it turns out good. So that'll be it for right now. I'll let this dry and we'll be back with more, and hopefully in about an hour. Bye. Alright, let's try to get this thing done. Go ahead and remove my little holders here. I'm going to start with my fenders. Well, that one didn't want to let go. I like something that works overtime. Now, you got to remember we had the super glue, or rubber cement. Now, this is the part that I like the most. It reveals what is going to be there. This is where the surprise comes in, is to see what it looks like. I just take my thumb and just lightly rub over it, and you kind of see how that's just peeling off. And as all this is doing, and I'm not putting much pressure at all on it, it's rubbing off all of the glue. Exactly how it's supposed to do. And you can feel the glue. Little bumps here and there. Sometimes you get some that's like watered up real good and doesn't want to let go. Now with this here, I ended up having some things to go do yesterday, and so this has been sitting overnight. If you catch it early enough, you can use masking tape, of which we'll do that just to do a final cleaning and stuff. But this is, if you leave it on there for too long, it bonds to everything really good. Once that happens, it'll peel the paint up all the way down to the plastic. Even with me having it sealed, I've had it do that to me before. And see, I got a little segment right there, or a little piece. Doesn't quite want to come off, so go ahead and just use the tape a little bit. Where was that? Right there. Kind of dab it on there a little bit here and there. And this is a high-tack regular masking tape. But there it goes, it just peeled that up. And you can see how that's looking right there. Come over here to the other one. This is actually rolling off really well. Nice and easy. And the only parts that come off is where the rubber cement is. I got some down around these little holes that I put in, the rust holes. And there you go. There's your simple, easy, cheap, affordable way to do a rusty fender. Give me a minute and I'll grab onto the rest of it. Alright, I've already removed the tape from the floorboards, the panels and stuff. So just again go back here and kind of peel it up a little bit, rub your finger across it. Again, you just don't know what you're going to get. Don't know what it's going to look like when you're done. I got a bunch down inside there. You have to use your fingernail, get in there and dig them out. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Actually, my fingernail may have gone all the way down to the plastic underneath. That's okay, I can always just turn around and add a little bit more rust in there. Let's get this down under here. You can see how this just peels right off. You know, every time I start peeling it goes right away from the camera, doesn't it? There we go, get that down along there. Come on, there we go. Thought I had more down along there, I guess not. Oh, yeah, maybe, no, maybe, no. Okay, I got to do a little bit of touching up here, just kind of feathering this in, but that'll be on another video. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one here all wiped off. And we will be back for another video on our next segment. I'm going to show you quick. There it is. It's got our rust holes in it. You can just see how just very, very, very easy process here. You can see right up in there maybe, if it focuses. So just an easy way to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and end this series, or this video of the series right now. And we will come back with some detail work on this. That'll be on the next video. So hope you stay tuned and we'll see you then. Chris Chapman, Rusty Nuts Model Shop. Thanks for watching.